I can't front. I kind of like being at a disadvantage in America as a melanated man. Does that sound crazy? Because when the whole world is against you, or a majority of those that are in power don't like you, it kind of makes you feel good, because it's like, what is it that my people are doing that makes you have so much of your everyday thought focused on us? It's kind of like Batman and the Joker. I mean, Bruce Wayne is cool, but I like the Joker. The Joker has limited resources. He keeps the gangs in check. He keeps the Wayne in check. And Batman ain't nothing but a daytime billionaire who checks all his criminal enterprises at night any fucking way. But I kind of, now that I'm up in my age and I look through all the struggles I've been through growing up, whether it's dealing with people in my old neighborhood or new neighborhoods, or certain places overseas, or being deployed, or counteracting some of the idiots that work that try to slide some slick ass shit in there. And I throw even some more slicker shit to make them go and think about what the fuck they said out of their mouth. I kind of like being at a disadvantage because it keeps you on your toes. It's like when you look at the realm of predators, a tiger will whoop a goddamn lion's ass. A lion, if he's, agile enough and quick enough, can probably get with a panther. But panthers are very fucking smart. They ain't fucking with the lion. They ain't fucking with the tiger. They don't converge too much against the cheetah. Don't mess around too much with the hyenas. But a panther knows its place. They're kind of a lone wolf in a way. They get their food. They hunt at night. They rest during the day. They sleep up in the tree. They watch and observe their area pretty carefully because they know their limitations of their occupation in that area of occupation. I can honestly say, to where my life is right now, I like the challenges that were given to me and are still given to me, because it made me who I am today. It made me capable. It made me quick. It made me witty. It made me think outside of the box, and I survived a lot of shit, So I kind of like the whole disadvantage. And I think mentally, if we turn that whole low self-esteem thought around into a prowess of power. I mean, everybody's given a bad hand. Look at a snail. That's a slow-moving motherfucker, boy. And I tell you, salt messes up his world. Birds messes up his world. Other insects can mess up his world. And all he's got is a shell. And he moves slowly but surely every time. Like a ladybug. There ain't nothing predatory about no ladybug. But somehow they managed to survive. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I just kind of felt that today. I had to teach in a very cold classroom, and it was hard to keep them students engaged because the classroom was cold as shit. And I guess they looked at me and was like, he's acting like this cold-ass classroom is not bothering him. And it wasn't, but sometimes being at a disadvantage, a lot gives you an advantage. I mean, look at the SEALs. That whole Hell Week is nothing but a disadvantage. To let them know that once they graduate, what you went through and where you are now, look how much of an advantage you have over the rest of your peer group, or other entities or other units. Delta, Special Ops, Rangers, Airborne, damn, the Corps of Engineers. I'm telling you, ever been stationed with some engineers? Engineers are some bad MFers in my book. They do it all. From kicking in doors and setting up barricades to blowing up stuff, to bulldozing dirt, to going deep in the heart of the enemy's territory and raising structures for us to occupy and continue missions, man. It's like, they some bad dudes, man. That Corps engineers ain't no joke. I got a lot of respect for them. I love the CAV too. The CAV was a good place to be. It's a sad thing to be having a funeral every Tuesday and Thursday. But you start to look at life a little bit different when things around you start disappearing because people are not on their toes, or they've been handed a more worse disadvantage than you thought you had. And that's where you start to really look at your blessings. Like, I'm glad I'm in good shape. I'm glad I started eating right at a certain age. I'm glad that I took the hard road, probably not by choice. I mean, Uncle Sam gave me bonuses for signing up for certain shit, and I was just looking at the money. Didn't think about, like, damn, that's a lot of money. Didn't think about what they was gonna have my ass doing for that damn money, you know? But I really do see being at a disadvantage is an advantage. And this is what I can say. Our people in our culture are rising and doing well now because of the struggles we've been through. Imagine if we had an easy road. Like when you look at the welfare state, and this is not a knock on anybody who's using that system to try to get ahead, but those who automatically stay on it because it's the thing to do because I don't want to do anything. Because you've never been through a hardship, you consider what you're in as a hardship. But you're kind of like a house pet. You're fed, you're given a place to sleep, a place to eat. So how prepared are you when things don't go your way? You know, or if you really got to go out there and hustle, show some muscle and show some grill or some fangs. You probably can't do it. Not in a good way that won't get you in trouble, shot or killed or put in jail. But I look at being at a disadvantage as an advantage because I look at what my fathers had to go through just to get me here. Just imagine that, man. People running up on your property, killing your husband, killing your son, raping your wife and your daughters. You know what I'm saying? That ain't no bullshit to be looking at, man. That's crazy that people have that much motivation towards you just because your body absorbed the sun just a little bit more. And I'm starting to think, is it envy or jealousy? I mean, you call it hatred, but really, what is it? When you notice somebody more than you notice yourself, that's some type of envy. And as you start to particularly look at parts of that person, that's when it translates to hate. So the core of racism is actually envy. I mean, we're a pretty blessed culture. Music, talent, physical fitness, appearance, complexion, height, size. I mean, when we got our shit together, man, we look good. You know what I mean? Two prime examples, Angela Bassett and Denzel Washington. Any basic NFL or NBA athlete, this clean cut and direct with their energy, you know? Being at a disadvantage is an advantage. And I guess it's all about how you look at yourself. Because the only thing I think that can bring me down on the food chain really is a rogue police officer. I don't really have any fears of anything else. That's the only situation where you really can't do something. You know, a really negative or, you know, one of them type of police officers want to try to pull some shit on you because his life or her life ain't living right. You don't know the law too well, and you got to go through an extreme conversation and communication with this motherfucker just so you can maintain your life. Because arguing with a police officer outside your car is not the best thing. You got to make it to court at least. And then you can negotiate matters with the judge. And that all depends on how the judge is. So as you can see, we're at a really big disadvantage, depending on whether you do good or not. And I only thought about this because of what I said to y'all yesterday. You know, sometimes it ain't that easy for people to get out of these situations. And I have to consider that. Because as a man, if you don't know what man looks like, you're discovering manhood as you go along. And sometimes you get it early, sometimes you get it late. Sometimes you might not get it at all. Because nobody gave you a prime example. You know, I look at certain stuff like how when you smell chocolate chip cookies, you know they chocolate chip cookies because they have the signature smell. Gasoline has a signature smell. Burning leaves has a signature smell. Being a man has a signature presence. There's a lot of definitions on the man, but there's only one type. Well, you whether you think you're alpha or sigma, when you get in the presence of a real man, whether it be your father or grandfather or mentor, you're like, damn, that's what it is, huh? This is what the complete package looks like. And you say, man, that's what I want to be. That's what the Cosby Show did for me and my wife when we watched it as children. She watched it with her parents, and I watched it with mine. It's like, Dr. Huxtable was the shit. And I guess the biggest thing that I was so upset about with that court case is like we lost a hero to some whatever that was, you know? But the enemy's constantly on you, and you have to fortify your position. You got to make sure you're prepared. And I know a lot of y'all may think that I talk in violent circles, but the best way for a treaty to happen or negotiations to happen is you got to have the same capabilities as your enemies. And if you don't, they're just going to run over you. They have to be in just as much fear of confrontation with you and the outcomes as you do with them. That's how negotiation treaties happen. And I think that's why men of power, men of prowess, men with financial backing and influence and you know, intelligence and money, they move. Because when you talk to another man of the same equal power, you're a little bit more careful, you're a little bit more respectful. So when a man comes up to you, or male, and they start talking to you crazy, they either got one hell of a fucking chess game, or they don't know what the fuck a man is.